Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show and another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling! Ting, ting, ting! We are joined by one of our favorite chefs, Chef Clem, who messes things up every now and then when he drops utensils into pots sometimes. Now, if you have any questions for Chef Clem, including why do you drop things in the kitchen, please call us right now on this beautiful telephone, 021 110 555 2. Now, one of our viewers who had a culinary conundrum and called Clem on his hotline joins us in studio this morning, and this could be you as well. Please welcome Jocelyn Holland! Woo! Yes, okay. Hello there, Auntie Joss.
Hello, my dear.
I am so happy to have you. You look wonderful. You look ready to cook.
Thank you so much.
So now you can do this live. Instead of calling me on the phone, you're right here, and Chef Clem is right there. I'm going to apologize. He drops things sometimes, as you can see. But what was your conundrum? And maybe you can pitch it to Chef Clem right now so we can get it sorted.
Yes, Chef. Whenever I make half moons, it seems ready and done when I take it out of the pot or the saucepan. When my family have a bite on it, it seems to be raw. The dough is still raw. What am I doing wrong, my dear?
Even the way that it was asked.
Right?
I love it. I love it.
It's
Okay.
beautiful.
So we're gonna make two versions of it. The one is with the dough, and the other one is the absolute hack, which is amazing every single time, and it's using bread.
Oh.
So let's start on making that dough. So I was busy melting butter, and then the butterfingers, it slipped out of my hand. Okay, sorry for the noise.
No,
so we're gonna start by making a roux. So a roux, very simple, is a fat and a flour cooked together, and we're gonna use butter this time, and then I'm gonna add some of the flour to it. So what's most important is when you add flour to your butter or to your fat, it's going to give you like a powdery consistency, which is understandable. But what you want to do is you want to cook that flouriness out. And all you have to do for that is just cook it for about, I'd like to say a minute, but it depends on how much flour you actually use.
Okay.
When you start smelling the flour, that's a good indication that that flouriness is cooked out of your roux. So give it a good mix. You can turn the heat up a little bit.
And this is why cooking is for all your senses, not just about taste and looks. You also have to use the senses. Smell,
You do.
hearing sometimes as well with a certain sizzle. So that's great. And I love a roux. A roux starts things off. It actually gives everything such a great thickness to it.
Right,
So
absolutely.
it can actually sort of stay within the half moon. So you don't have something that's too loose that's going to be sort of, just like sort of tumbling around your dough, which is important to know. So the roux smells.
And it's getting there. I can smell it. The thing about a roux also, besides the fact that it adds body to your sauces or your stews, whatever you're using, it also becomes a vessel for flavor.
Yes.
And prawns, very delicate in flavor, but when you actually add it to the roux, it like just permeates through that roux, and you get that that quite signature seafoody flavor ends up in your roux. So, okay, we're in a good place. You can see it's quite a nice paste, and that's exactly what you want. You want it to be like that.
Oh,
so we're going to add some milk to it now, and we're going to cook out that roux. So my hack for when I use bread, because it works so well, especially if you're making, I've never met anybody that just makes 24 half moons. It's always something like 100, 150.
You must freeze.
You must
for
freeze.
later. There's always a family gathering somewhere.
Yeah.
Someone's always turning 60. And you have to have half moons ready, like, at all the time. So, like, if you are going to make it, don't just make, like, 12. You have to make at least about 100.
And make for the neighbor, make for everyone to share, make for us. Our address is, I'm just joking, but you can make it, you send it to us, please. So the bread one, also, you can, once you fill it, you can actually freeze, which I think is amazing. Okay, so what's going to happen is this is going to form a nice dough. I'm going to add more flour to it, and you're going to almost cook it like a choux pastry. So once it cooks, once it starts moving from the side, you know, in a good place, you must cool it down, okay? Cool it down slightly. It can still be warm, but you don't want to be trying to roll out a very hot dough. It's just going to break every single time. Okay, so let me show you what that dough looks like. Did I take all my dough? You know what? The team are so amazing. They've already rolled the dough.
Of course, they will do that for you.
So this is the consistency, and you add water as well to get that perfect consistency. This to make the dough. The dough is very simple. It's flour and it's water into a pot, a little bit of butter, and you just work it. And like I said, you get this beautiful, beautiful dough. And it's so simple to make. You can also make this dough, make a big batch, and it'll keep for years in the freezer.
I didn't know that.
In the freezer, which is absolutely amazing. So whenever you're in the half moon, when you get that craving, you know, when you get the half moon craving, it happens. You got the dough. So what I've done is I've rolled it out for you already. I'm busy working on that roux for the prawns. Okay, Carl.
Hello.
Can you just cut out some of the bread for me, please?
Okay. Do you want to cut the bread?
The bread?
What?
You cut out the rounds for me?
Rounds of the bread. Okay. You know what? This is something that I think anybody could pick up on because that is just
Okay.
perfect. And that's it right there. And then that's a beautiful round. And as you can see, right there. And there's
So
another round.
what I do is I like to just take a rolling pin and to spread them out a little bit so they become a little thinner. And then by doing that, creating a larger surface area. So
Beautiful.
prawns are in. You can decide how thin you wanna make the sauce. I still want it to be a little pasty because, like you said earlier, Carl, you don't want it to be too loose where it just starts seeping through
That's
the dough.
the thing, man. You actually want it to have some sort of consistency. So when you bite into it, the mouth feels actually good too. You don't want
Absolutely.
something that's too... I know I've tasted some half moons that are quite dry. And
Yes.
you'll taste them, and then it's almost like the ingredient falls out,
Yes.
and you don't want that to happen. You want
No,
it to
of
stay, and I
course,
think
yes.
this is the great way of doing it. What are you popping in there, Chef, very
So
quickly?
the
You're doing
aromatics
some?
going for parsley. I'm going for some cayenne pepper, a little bit. You can add jalapenos to it because that's my favorite one, the prawn and jalapeno.
Oh,
Okay. yes,
Salt,
please.
pepper goes in. This is the filling. I'm going to make it so quick. I'm going to also ask you, Carl, while you cut out that round, can you cut out a round of the dough for me as well?
Got you covered, no problem. Round of the dough.
Round of the dough.
Done and dusted.
Okay.
How many rounds do you want?
Just one.
Chef?
We're good. We're
Just
good.
one. Good.
So
Lovely.
this is the consistency of. I'm going to show it to the camera as well so they can all see it. This is the consistency of the paste that I like for the prawns. Okay.
That's
That's
brilliant.
it.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
it. Any looser than that, and it's going to start coming out of the seams, and you
Yes.
don't want that.
Yes,
so
of
let me just see if I got a rolling pin. You know what you can do if you can't find your rolling pin, eh?
Yep.
We make a plan.
Indeed.
Plastic wrap. Just going to roll it out a little bit. And then I'm going to pass it to you, Auntie Jocelyn. Auntie Jocelyn, I haven't got anything to do just yet.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a little bit. I'm going to ask you to do a little pinch technique for me.
This is exciting.
You don't want to overfill it as well because then you're going to end up breaking it. So if you can just fold it
As I fold it.
into your half moon shape.
Oh, this is great, eh?
Do you know why I
Yeah,
also
that's
asked Auntie Jocelyn to do it for me?
Why?
Because women tend to have
Right,
colder
it's gonna
fingertips
fall
than
out.
men.
It's gonna fall
Than
out.
men.
Are you serious?
True story.
fall out.
That's why they make the best pastry chefs. Okay,
Wow.
so you're gonna, if you do have an opening like that, what you do is because the dough is quite pliable, you can actually just pinch
Oh, pinch.
and it just seal everything in there.
And you see now that's the half moon that I like. I like a good filled half moon.
Do you?
Yeah, no, because it's got to have that meatiness, that bite to it.
Yes.
Otherwise, I go back to the trestle table all the time, man.
But do you go or do you
know.
send someone else?
No, I go. I'm not too proud to beg. Like I will go straight there, and I'll open. I'm the guy who opens the buffet. You know when everybody's apprehensive.
Table one,
I'm
it's
that-
your turn
yeah,
to go.
exactly.
But Carl's at table 4,
Yes.
and then he just.
I don't. You see, because being a short guy, it's easy. I just go.
Oh, we got it.
My phone is ringing. I love it. Okay, excuse me. Here we go.
Okay.
Culinary hotline bling. Ting ting ting. Call speaking. How can I help you?
Hello?
Hello.
I want to know from Mrs. Teacher. I want to know from Chef Clem that I have some puff pastry in my freezer and my oven is broken. So I want to know if I can put it in the microwave or fry it in the oil.
Okay, I got you.
Thank you so much. Chef
I got
Clem,
you.
got you. I'm going to put you on speaker.
So, puff pastry, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Because the microwave works, it kind of cooks the food from the inside out. Puff pastry can be cooked in the microwave, but it's very dependent on the strength of your microwave. And because puff pastry is such a delicate pastry,
Yes.
you don't want to, you want to play around with the microwave first to test it. So what we're going to actually do for you, I think we're going to do that experiment for you, one of the culinary hotlines, how to cook puff pastry in the microwave. It is temperamental. I wouldn't suggest it unless you really, like you said, you don't have an oven, so it's your only solution. So what I also suggest is you cook your puff pastry without any fillings, without anything on top. You'll cook just your pastry,
Yes.
and then you can build on top of your pastry.
Oh, lovely.
So I would suggest you play around with your microwave, keep it on its highest setting, and go for 2 minutes to 3 minutes at a time. And you'll see it actually doesn't take long. It takes about 5 minutes to cook through and to puff up. So what happens is the microwave heats up the butter inside the puff pastry. That expands and you get those instant layers.
Yes.
You won't get as much as a brown color, the caramelized color of the top of your pastry, but it'll cook through.
Okay.
So let's actually do that. Let's do another microwave hack. What do you think? Like,
Yeah, I
another
like
special-
it. I like it a
I
lot.
think so too.
That actually work.
Okay, well, so
Oh, okay. So
Half moon.
you've dusted your half moon beautifully.
egg and then breadcrumb.
Breadcrumbs.
What I
Done.
do is I like adding a little masala spice to the breadcrumb because, like I said, the inside of your prawn filling is not that strong because you want the flavor of the prawns
Yes,
to come
of
through.
course.
Heat up your oil, get that in there. That's going to
Auntie
start frying.
Joss, Chef Clem's had been to many of those 60th birthdays in the Civic. He's been to many of those. So he knows
Many.
the masala and the,
The
and the crumbs,
plainness
eh?
is playing through my head right now.
Exactly. That Judy
Leaves,
Boucher is
Judy
loud in your head, eh?
Boucher.
That's it.
Wow. Okay, so what? Da, da, da.
Yes.
Da, da, da. Sorry. Okay, so your half moons, okay, it goes into the oil just until the breadcrumbs go like a proper golden color. Remember, the pastry is quite thin. It's
Yes.
only going to take about a minute or two to cook.
Okay.
And then you're good. Your half moons are done. And you, send them through to us. I use prawn, but you can honestly use mince. You can use a vegetable,
Chicken.
cheese and corn.
Yes.
Done
Yes.
and dusted.
These are so simple. And like I said, the bread thing, all you do is roll it out, same filling goes in there, fold it over, egg,
Okay.
crumb, fry. Auntie Jocelyn?
Thank you so much for the tip on the bread. I never knew that.
There we
delicious.
go.
It's
Thank
delicious.
you.
That's why
so
Chef
much.
Clem is here. Auntie Joss, thanks a lot for being here. You're absolutely incredible. We have another culinary hotline bling, ting, ting, ting for you in the next couple of minutes, so stick around for that. And also, if you missed out on all of these hacks, don't worry, we got you on expressoshow.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
So hope you feel that vibe. Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso. You're live in S3, and this is another installment of, wait for it, the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ting, ting, ting. I like the ting tings today. And we're joined by one of our favorite chefs, as always, Chef Clem, who is here. I've held this now, so you can't drop it. And then, of course, we also have Auntie Joss, who's still with us, making sure that we have another pair of hands for anything that you have to get through in your kitchen. 021 110 5552. Let us know exactly what you need help with. We will be here for you. Any conundrum, I got your back. So let's get into this today, because I know that they... You see, I was about to say something, and then the phone rings. Excuse me. Right, let's check it out. Culinary Hotline Bling, ting, ting, ting. Carl speaking, how can I help you?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
I have a feeling like your name is
Hello,
Louise.
Carl?
Is your name Louise from Cape Town?
Yes, I'm Louise from Cape Town.
Oh, word, this is great. I'm psychic sometimes. Hi, welcome. How can Chef Clem, Auntie Joss, and I help you today?
All right. I really want to know how to make Hollandaise sauce, please.
Ooh.
Hollandaise sauce.
Hollandaise. All right.
Hollandaise.
Chef Clem will be right with you. So I'm going to put you on
Thank
speaker. Let's go. Right.
So I'm going to talk this one through because I haven't got the ingredients in front of me, but Hollandaise is absolutely one of the most decadent sauces to make, and people don't make it because they're so scared.
Yes.
They say it's going to split, but it's super simple. What I do is, and here's the thing, you know, when you use room temperature eggs, so you can do the whole double boiler method, but there's an easier method. So what
Yes.
I do is I take, like I said, the room temperature eggs, just the yolks, and I put it into a beaker. And then I take some vinegar, and I bring it to a simmer with some peppercorns and some shallots. We can use some Baileys in there, just make a nice aromatic vinegar.
All right.
Okay, cool. And also heat up your butter. So I add the vinegar to the egg yolks, and then I take the melted butter, and I start pouring it into the beaker using a hand stick blender. Where's my one now? I'll take it to the back.
Yeah.
And as you slowly start pouring it, you'll see it'll start thickening. And that's it. That's as simple as it is. And you just keep on working it, pouring, and it'll thicken. Here's the thing. If you're going to do it over a double boiler and it does split, don't worry.
Okay.
Take your split hollandaise, pour it into a beaker, add a little bit of water, and then again blend it. You'll see it'll come back together. It's all about the ratio of water to fat and how they emulsify. So for me, using a stick blender is the easiest way to do. You can do big batch, it never splits. And again, if it does split, get into a beaker, get a little blender, it'll come back together again. Remember that you don't want to make your hollandaise too far in advance because it will thicken up. You don't want that to happen. But if you are going to make it about an hour before the time, take a piece of plastic wrap and layer it over the top of the actual hollandaise so it doesn't form that skin. We call it a skin.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you'll be perfectly good. That over steak, that over breakfast. Oh,
Wow.
poached eggs. Hollandaise.
There we go, Louise.
Hollandaise
just for
all
you.
days.
That's right. Yes, doesn't have to be on the holidays. Make Hollandaise any day. Beautiful. Thanks a lot for that, Louise. On to another little question that came through, and this was actually from a very, very special person by the name of Lee, also from Cape Town. And Lee would like to know something something special. How to make milk tart without the base if there's no biscuits.
Because I get that. I
You know what
get
I'm saying?
that. Sometimes you want a milk tart and you want to have, for me, it's like meringue. People like the meringue, people like the custard, people
Yes.
like the crust. Milk tart as well. Some people like that the crust in it. Some people just like the custard in the center. So I like this recipe. This is actually from Abigail Donnelly from Taste Magazine. Love this recipe.
Great.
Super simple. Auntie Jocelyn, I'm gonna be done because I'm sliding into December mode already. Okay.
You're in the Hollandaise now.
I'm in the hollandaise mood. There we go. So I've got some egg whites here for you, Auntie Jocelyn, and then I'm going to ask you to please add your sugar, and we've got some nachi zest. You want to add some nice aromatic to it, and this one works really well.
Oh, that's great.
Because you're taking out, no, we microplaned it, we didn't grate it.
Oh, makes sense. It did make sense there.
So you want
I
to
mean,
add some...
aren't you glad I asked?
Oh,
I didn't want to know.
Oh, man. I mean, I find all jokes appealing, so... Okay, so we're gonna add. You can actually transfer. You can start using the electric mixer for me now, and then I'm gonna pass that to you, and I'm gonna shake this off. Then, so we're not gonna add the crust. So the crust does add flavor as well as texture, and it holds in that custard.
Okay.
So you wanna add some extra flavor to it. We've
Ooh,
used the
there it
larch
goes.
there. We're also gonna use some green cardamom and vanilla.
And what are we adding
Here we go,
now?
Vanilla.
So we
Go
got
in.
Vanilla's going in.
It's quite thick, so I'm gonna help you.
Okay.
And then the green I'm shouting because...
No, but it's,
I want them-
I completely
Can you
understand.
hear me? Okay, so we're gonna go green cardamom going in. And green cardamom is such a nice aromatic flavor, and it pairs so well with citrus as well. So this milk tart really benefits from those flavors.
Also,
Then,
quick one, cardamom versus cardamom. Is it the same thing?
cardamom,
Is it the same thing?
cardamom,
And
it's cardamom. It's the same thing.
I say,
It's the
thank
same
you.
thing.
Just make sure that debate is settled. I had an
it's-
argument about this the other day. Thank you.
And also quite nice to be using the powdered version.
All right.
Because you bite on one of those, you're done.
I actually don't mind it.
You don't?
No, I don't. There's something about it. I'm always the guy who gets that in the curry, and I don't mind it. I think it's like a luck thing.
Okay.
For me, the cardamom
I like it.
is a lucky thing. So
Auntie Justin, do you like the flavor of cardamom?
Yes, I do.
I love it.
See,
It's so
it's
aromatic.
gorgeous.
Okay, then
that's
Carl,
looking great, eh? Oh, sorry, looking appealing.
looking appealing. So you can stop there for a second, Justin. I'm going to take my sieve, and I've got some flour and some baking powder, and you want to sift these together. Carl, thank you so much for during the ad break beating our egg whites for us.
You're most welcome. I tried my best. It was wow. It was a tough task, but I got it covered.
You are amazing.
problem.
Then we put baking powder. That's going to give some of that little bit of lift, but it's going to end up being like a nice baked custard. Then I'm going to fold this through, and we got some milk.
I find that so satisfying when you do the sieving of any sort of powdered ingredient. It's beautiful.
I agree.
Okay, and now so you're gonna loosen that up with
The milk.
addition of the milk. Okay, great.
Cool. So you can also heat up the milk if you want to, but I kind of find it's fine. You're going to bake it anyway.
Yes.
You want to really get that in there. You can start adding the milk.
And do you want the crumbly consistency prior to the milk being added into the bowl?
No, you want it to be like a nice thick batter, and then
Okay.
you're going to loosen that batter by folding
Great.
it through your egg whites.
All right.
So egg whites, super simple. And I spoke about when I made the Hollandaise, I used room temperature eggs. When you're making egg whites, beating egg whites, you'll also find that it'll stiffen up a lot quickly. It'll hold air better when it's at room temperature.
Okay.
Also, you don't need the freshest eggs when you're making egg whites, because a little slight, like a week-old egg, also holds air so well. So it's a good use for those
Nice
eggs that are...
okay.
Don't use week-old eggs when you're making poached eggs. You want to try and use the freshest eggs when you're making poached eggs.
I completely agree
Yeah.
with that because you want that freshness when you have the poached egg, man. It's because I mean a poached egg also feels quite. I could say that it feels quite raw, not raw per se,
yes.
but there's something about the raw flavor of the egg.
Yeah.
That's why I love poached eggs, and also that residual vinegar on the outside too. I love that about a poached
Absolutely.
egg. So what do you want to do with this, chef?
If you can now fold the two together, your
All right.
whites into your, essentially your custard.
Okay.
And then what we do is, there's no crust, so you're going to use, I use a springform tin. And I just use like a non-stick spray on it. And just to be safe that it doesn't run out, I take some foil and I wrap it around the side of the springform tin.
Okay.
So when you bake it, you do want to leave it for, I'd say when it comes out the oven, for about half an hour. It is custard based.
Yes,
And you end up with this beautiful, beautiful tart.
lovely.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
It is
I
beautiful.
can see.
And again, it's
And
summer.
no crust.
It's no crust, yeah.
I'm a crust guy, I won't lie, but I would try that.
Yeah. The thing about...
The thing about, give me a second. You keep unfolding, I'll be answering. Here we go. Culinary hotline, bling, ting, ting, ting. Carl speaking, how can I help you?
Good morning, Carl,
Hi.
and the team.
Hello there. What's your name?
My name is Val.
Hi, Val. All right.
I just want to know, Chef Clem was busy making a roux. My question is, does he use cold milk or warmed milk or hot milk?
Great question. Thank you so much. I'll put you on speaker. Chef Clem will answer.
I like that question.
Thank
So the
you.
thing about when you're making a roux is that you'll only start noticing the actual thickness of your roux once your milk starts heating up. When it gets to that almost simmering point, then you'll see the thickness. If you want to see the reaction a lot faster, heat your milk up on the side. And then when you start adding it, you'll see the consistency will thicken up a lot quicker.
Ah, okay.
Another thing is people, when they do add cold milk to their roux, they stir and they stir, but they'll find that their roux is still, it's not hot yet. But then they think, oh my goodness, my roux is still so thin, and they start adding more flour.
Yes.
Then eventually, when it comes up to temperature, they end up with a bouncing ball. So the thing is, if you want to speed up the process, use warmed milk. If you're not going to warm up your milk, be patient with it. Wait till it does come to the simmering point. Also on the milk, if you want to add extra flavor to your bechamel, when you heat up your milk, add a few Baileys and a few peppercorns. Then the milk becomes infused with extra flavor. So when you add it to your roux has now got a little bit of extra flavor, extra fragrance. And I also like using roux. If you're making chicken pie, that's the act of good chicken pie.
Wow.
Flavor your milk before you add it to your roux, and you will have the best chicken pie ever.
Lovely.
This has been incredible. Val, thanks a lot for your question. I hope that answered that beautifully. And we will continue with the crustless milk tart. I know that you want to give it a shot, so we got all the ingredients up for you. That'll be on the expressoshow.com website. And thank you so much, Auntie Joss. You were
Auntie
a
Joss,
delight
man.
today. You were
Pleasure.
really great today. Thank you so much. You were amazing. And you, Chef Clem, always incredible. We'll be back with another edition of Culinary Hotline Bling.
Ting, ting, ting.
Real soon. Stick around.